Hello, this is my interpersonal communication presentation, and my name is Jason Beals, and I'm currently attending Liberty University. As I said, my name is Jason Beals. I'm currently enrolled in the Human Services Counseling, Marriage, and Family program, but I'm hoping to switch over to the Clinical Mental Health program in the summer. Today I'll be discussing my interpersonal communication techniques and development. My overarching goal in life, I guess you'd say, is to become an LPC. That's why I'm hoping to switch over into the clinical mental health program during the summer, so I can get a head start in that. Interpersonal communication is vital for being an LPC or just a counselor in general. You really have to be able to communicate with others, whether that's just listening to them or being able to verbalize. I guess just something to be able to relate to something that they're going on with. And that's something that I've found out through this class as well as experience, which I'll get to in just a second. But my background, I was raised in a Christian home. Mother and father, two siblings, both are brothers, so we were brothers, let's just put it that way. And my family moved around a lot due to my dad's job. So because we moved around a lot, I was always the new kid, so I had to quickly be able to make friends. Otherwise, I've been that weird new kid, and after that once, I didn't want to do that again. So I had to be able to pick up and be able to communicate with others very effectively and be able to adapt. Pick up some of the things that they might be saying or just things that they might do. Nothing bad, I, again, raised in a Christian home, so. But because I moved around so a lot, I got a lot of experience with other cultures, mainly American, but I've lived in the middle of the country and I've lived on both coasts, north and south. So, just America's a vastly different place, so just being exposed to all of that, as well as other subcultures from any surrounding areas. So I guess that was pretty cool. And then also, after high school, I've went to 3 different colleges for my undergrad. So I started out at Wichita State University in Kansas, then I transferred over to the University of Connecticut, and then I finished out at Liberty for my undergrad, and I'm currently in grad school there. So that's just my background, and that's what I'm coming from. And I would say that my behavioral blend is a direct outcome of moving around so much. I've been that quiet person, I've been that loud and outgoing person, but some positives of my behavior blend, I feel like with my background, I can have a conversation with anyone or just about anyone. That's something you really have to get good at. Um, I've moving around a lot made me just have to be able to listen to what others are saying, um, especially when you move to areas where they have really thick accents. You really have to be a good listener. And I guess some inhaling techniques from Bridges Not Walls that touches base on just being a good listener. And then a research article that I read put it the way that he put it, it worked out really well. And one thing that I guess I related to when I was reading this was you have to use examples from your not from your personal life, but just life experiences that make things easier to grasp when you're communicating with others. But some negatives, I would say, from my behavior in the past, I wouldn't really form any real relationships like with friends because I moved around so a lot. I kind of had the attitude, oh, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so I may as well not make any close personal friends or any other forms of relationships. In the past, not so much now, I promise, I would kind of sort of manipulate people to make them see things my way just because, growing up I had my own beliefs, and whenever I'd move, my worldview and outcome would be challenged a lot. So And in an article that I read, it says that that's something you should not do for effective communication. And then I guess I would just never really spend that much time with anyone other than my family. Again, that kind of touches base back on the not really forming very close relationships with anyone. But now that I'm older and I'm settling down, that it hasn't really been the case too much. But some barriers that I've run into, and this class has kind of helped me realize, is port inhaling, or just listening. Uh, I would be listening to people, and I would kind of have like a bias listening. I would hear what I wanted to hear. So if someone was telling me something, I would like immediately just stop listening, be like, okay, I already know what they're gonna say. And sometimes I would even cut them off and be like, okay, I got it. I understand what you're saying. You don't need to explain it any further. And that's kind of poor exhaling as well, kind of the opposite, not really being able to effectively communicate. Because listening is very important, but also being able to actually have a conversation with someone, that is incredibly important. So I have been too blunt in the past, and I've had to work on that, not just recently. And then just not really being too empathetic of others. And then, as I said earlier, just like bias listening, hearing what I wanted to hear. And then something that I've had to work on recently because of my current job, I'm AMHP at an adult psych ward where I live. I guess the way I stand or the way I sat, I just would appear closed off. So the patients that I would be working with, I found out they would not want to come bother me, or they would not want to come talk to me because they feel that they would be bothering me. So that's some just poor nonverbal contact and body language that I've noticed that I've had to work on a lot recently. And that's a huge struggle because when you work in the field, people have to be able to feel like they can come to you. If you're working with inpatient, that is, in certain situations. And some resources and strategies that I've found is, school. You never know what you're going to learn in class. This class has taught me that. When I first saw the books, I was like, oh, I know how to listen. I'm not going to learn too much, but I was very wrong. My friends and family, just people to constantly just have communication with, just to give you some sort of feedback. Mentors, and that can be at a job or church or any other sort of community group that you're a part of. And then my job, as I said, I'm an AMHP or a counselor at an adult psych ward, and that just really challenges you to be able to communicate because I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with someone who is literally psychotic, but after you have enough of those conversations, you really do need to just be able to communicate with literally anyone. And my action plan is I always wake up every day and I always try to learn something new. I want to continue working in the field of psychology. I'm going to continue with school. And again, hopefully switching into the clinical mental health to pursue an LPC licenseship. Just to focus and work hard. And, at work, hopefully looking for any types of advancement, hopefully moving on to a QMHP-A, which is a qualified mental health professional for adult psych. And then, just continue getting experience about that through work. And, my conclusion is I have learned a great deal from this class. I'm going to try to continue examining my communication style to always look for improvements, and I'm excited to see where God leads me after this class and after this course. Thank you, and that's all.